Good morning. I'm Ms. Deline, and I'm bringing you a daily oracle card from the Sacred Rebels deck. And today I drew, what do you feel? Took me a minute to get this image, the apple and the orange. Apples or oranges. There are many opinions around you. Some are helpful, but others are distracting you from your truth. Although it can be helpful to hear the thoughts of others, when it all comes down to it, you will have to come to your own decision. Do you know how unique you are? How your path is your path to be chosen, lived, and created by you? Someone else cannot become the source of your decision-making power without negative repercussions for both of you in the long run. This oracle comes to you because you've become swept up in thinking things through. You've been thinking about which way to go with a matter of importance, and you've got a bit stuck in the logic of the decision-making process. Sometimes we have to accept that any path is a path forward, and if it's not the best path, we can change our approach later on if needed. If we are slightly off base with a decision, life will often shift and move to guide us back on track. That's the truth. And sometimes the shift isn't gentle. We don't have to be perfect. In fact, there's rarely ever a perfect choice to be made, just some choices that feel more heart-honoring than others. Sometimes we can only really know in hindsight if we made the best choice possible in that moment. Now, it's my belief that it's always the best choice possible in that moment, or we would have made a different choice, right? The outcome might have been something we didn't expect or didn't want, but in that moment we made the best choice that we could with the information that we had. At the time of decision making, we only really have our internal wisdom to rely upon, and that is all that we need. The oracle of what do you feel is telling you there is no need to punish or traumatize yourself with possible choices. Just making a choice will set things in motion. The best way to catalyze the situation you're in and bring about healing change, stimulate your creative juices, and find a more inspired, energized, and enjoyable approach to your life is to just make a choice based on what you feel right now. Not based on anyone else's feelings, just yours. So ask yourself, what do I feel right now? And go from there. If you can't relate to the need to make a choice between two or more clear alternatives, then the oracle brings you this message. You are at a crossroads in your journey, and the choices you make at this time, even simply choosing to do things a little differently without much drama associated with the decision, are powerful triggers for some great magic to enter your life. Take a different approach to something. Be open to that which makes you uncomfortable, but could be exciting and interesting. Even small adventures will yield big rewards right now. It matters less that you do the most wonderful thing ever, too much pressure, and more that you simply take an action from your heart. Open up to the creative magic of life and don't worry about how it is all going to work out. The bigger creative flow of life is sorting out all the details, and you are not immune to that plan. In fact, you are a natural part of it, so just spend time with your own feelings and know that all is going to work out perfectly. So this card, it's like it was talking about my life in the moment. It's not about just making a choice. It's about taking action once you make that choice. So, for instance, in my own life, I made a choice a long time ago to teach online, but have I done it? No. It's like, 2 or 3 years I've been thinking about it. I'm starting tonight. So I'm taking that action, stepping out of my comfort zone. And sometimes that's what it takes to follow your heart, to follow your guidance. And I think often as people, we don't have that, a lot of people don't have that confidence in their own inner guidance, their own ability to make the correct choices, whether they've been conditioned to think that they don't have that ability, or life experience has shown them, like I kid about, my man picker is broken. You know, I had 3 husbands, and on one level, not good choices. On another level, oh my gosh, I learned so much, and became the empowered woman I am today because of the choices that I made, right? So one of the things that I see is people looking to other people for answers instead of looking to themselves. I had a friend, a very dear friend, her name was Deanna Conway, and she's a popular metaphysical writer. She wrote, I don't know, 30 or 40 books about magic, about the healing power of crystals, you know, just she did 2 or 3 tarot decks, just amazing, an amazing human being. Well, she also did readings. She did tarot readings, and she told me when I was first getting to know her that she used to do it a lot, and then she stopped doing it. And I said, well, why did you stop doing it? And she said, because people were dependent on me to make the simplest decisions. And she said it got some people, it was so ridiculous that they would call me and ask me if they should wear the red dress or the blue dress to their first date. And so she said it was just counterproductive to what she wanted to do, right? She wanted people to be empowered to learn how to, make their own decisions, make their own choices, understand their abilities, and they had become dependent on her for the smallest things. So she quit doing readings. I've talked to other people like that. I knew this woman one time who couldn't do anything without asking her minister. Well, I need to check with my minister and I'll get back to you. What? I've seen people, let me ask my husband. I need to ask my husband before I make that decision. Yeah, whatever, okay. The first thing that happens in my brain is red flags go off, like, are you being controlled by your husband? Or do you just lack the confidence in making your own decisions, right? And so anyway, I mean, it's always good to, when you're in a relationship like that, you have a significant other, you tell them, I'm thinking about doing such and such, or I've decided to take a belly dance class or whatever. But you don't say, is it okay if I take a belly dance class? What do you think about me taking a belly dance class? You could ask that. But if you feel really guided to do it, then that's your decision, right? Whatever it is, buy the red dress or the blue dress, it's your decision. You can ask somebody for input. How do you think I look in this? How do you think I look in this? Or whatever. But the decision ultimately is yours. And so once we make those decisions, which aren't always easy, let me tell you. So I'll tell you, for me, when I make a big decision, like, should I leave this marriage? Where, I'm feeling like I want to leave this relationship, but there's all these reasons why I shouldn't, right? In my mind. That's my mind. My heart is saying, get the heck out of here, right? So then I sit down and I write pros and cons. The pros of staying, the cons of staying, the pros of leaving, the cons of leaving. And because I'm a real logical, analytical kind of person, believe it or not, even though I'm a creative soul, and that really helps me. It helps me see that, okay, here's what's going on, because I get caught up in the emotions. I guess that's what it is. I get caught up in the emotions. I'm a quadruple, quintuple Scorpio, depending on what astrologer you talk to. Oh, and that's another thing. People say, let me ask my astrologer if I should or shouldn't. Okay, so So being all that Scorpio-ness, that's, all it's a water sign, all about emotions. So I get caught up in the emotions, and sometimes I have to just, crank it down, write it out, put it in black and white on paper, and then it's like, and it always follows what I want to do, or what I feel called to do, what my emotions are telling me, what my heart is telling me. But it gives me that validation of the mental aspect also. So that's for the really hard decisions. The smaller decisions, I follow my heart and my gut. I call it the gut too, my intuition. Like, and I always ask, what's to my highest good? So it may not be to someone else's highest good, but when you do what is to your highest good, it's going to be to the highest good of those people in your realm, in your immediate group of people, because either you're going to be an example of following your heart, and which ultimately leads to your bliss, or the decision you make will impact them in a way that will also lift them up. And so in the short run, it might look like it's not to their highest good, because you're no longer going to wait on them hand and foot, or whatever, whatever the shift is. And what's going to happen is they're going to learn how to wait on themselves, right? Best for their highest good, right? I hope that made sense. Anyway, love you guys. Namaste. Have a wonderful day.